Welcome to the Department of Toxic Substances Control Biennial Report Training. The Biennial Report is required by the federal EPA for all large quantity generators of RCRA hazardous waste. It's a critical part of the hazardous waste tracking process, and it's important to get it right. The Biennial Report for 2023 is due by March 1, 2024. In this training, you will learn how to determine whether you meet the requirements to file, where to find the information needed for completing the Biennial Report, how to avoid common mistakes, and how to complete and successfully submit the Biennial Report. Helpful links are provided at the bottom of the video to answer questions you may have. Let's start with the Biennial Report. Basics. How do you know if you are required to file? You are required to file the 2023 Biennial Report if in any 1 month during 2023 you 1. Generated more than 2,200 pounds of RCRA hazardous waste, or 2. More than 2.2 pounds of RCRA acute hazardous waste, or 3. Greater than 220 pounds of residue or contaminated soil, waste, or other debris resulting from the cleanup of a spill into or on any land or water of any RCRA acute hazardous waste. You are also required to complete the 2023 Biennial Report if you treated, stored, or disposed of RCRA hazardous wastes on site. If you're not sure what RCRA hazardous waste or RCRA acutely hazardous waste is, click on the first link below the video for an explanation. To start the Biennial Report, go to the RCRAInfo homepage at rcrainfoepa.gov or click on the second link below the video. You'll sign into your MyRCRAInfo account. If you don't have an account, click on link number 3 below the video to watch a short demonstration on how to easily create one. Let's get started. Once you sign in to RCRAInfo, this is what you'll see. Click on the correct site name. Click on the Biennial Report tab to begin. Then click on Create New Submission. You can choose to upload your data in what is known as a flat file, a carefully structured text file containing all your data, or you can choose to continue to direct data entry. If you choose to upload a flat file, select the file from your hard drive to do so. If you want to know more about flat file formatting, click on link number 4 below the video. Here's an example of an actual flat file with some information partially obscured. Flat files can be created in Notepad or other simple text editing programs or generated for you by a hazardous waste consultant. Once you upload the file, you will receive a success or failure message. The failure message will list any problems that cause the file to be rejected. Fix the problems and keep trying until the upload is successful. After a successful upload, you'll still need to review the form data and submit the report. To enter your information by direct data entry, choose Continue to Data Entry. This will take you to the Biennial Report entry form. Your data will be saved as you go so that you can complete the form at your own pace. The 4 parts are: add a new GM form to detail your generated waste. GM stands for Waste Generation and Management. Add a new WR form to detail your received waste. WR stands for Waste Received. Add a new OI form to list the names and hazardous waste ID numbers of every off-site installation you shipped hazardous waste to or received hazardous waste from, as well as any transporters you used to do so. OI stands for Off-Site Installation. Add your site ID form to make any changes to your site information and complete the Biennial Report. A GM form should be completed for each different type of hazardous waste generated. The waste description on the GM form should provide a short narrative description of the waste, such as general type, source, type of hazard, and generic chemical name or primary hazardous constituents. Select all federal waste codes that apply for Part B. Click on link number 5 below the video for a detailed list of federal waste codes. Part C is for any applicable state waste codes. Click on link number 6 below the video for a detailed list of California state waste codes. If you are not sure which federal or state waste codes to use, you can find the codes on box 13 of your Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifests. The Process Information section of the GM form is concerned with source codes, form codes, waste minimization codes, and whether the waste is mixed with nuclear waste or radioactive material. Please click on link number 7 below the video for further information on this section. The Quantity Information section requires both a number and a selected unit of measurement. There are 7 choices listed in the drop-down box. Pounds, short tons, kilograms, and metric tons automatically calculate the given quantity into tonnage. Gallons, liters, and cubic yards require that an additional unit of measurement be chosen to describe density, either pounds per gallon or SG, specific gravity. Part 2 of the GM form deals with on-site generation and management of hazardous waste. If you select Yes for this question, you'll need to add an on-site process system, commonly referred to as a management method code. When you add a code, the drop-down box provides a preset list. For further explanation and a list of management method codes, click on link number 8 below the video. Please note that the management method code H135 is no longer a valid code. If you shipped the waste off-site, you'll need to identify the facility it was sent to by entering ID number. This is clearly listed on the Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest as the designated facility or alternate facility. The box auto-completes the search as you enter to prevent data entry errors. You'll need to select an off-site management method code for the facility. This value is listed in box 19 on the Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest. Enter the amount of waste that was shipped to this particular facility using the same units of measurement you used in the waste description section. If it all looks good, click Save Changes. You can add another off-site facility here or edit the entry you've made by clicking on the pencil, or delete the entry altogether by clicking on the X. The comments box is used to explain anything on the form, including any waste minimization efforts or special circumstances, especially if you're filing the report due to a one-time event. Review all the information and click Save. The total waste quantity distributed between all facilities must be the same as the quantity listed in the quantity generated box in the waste description section for this particular waste. A warning will pop up on the screen if the quantity generated is not equal to the quantity shipped. Please be sure that the amount of waste shipped off-site and treated on-site is equal to the total amount generated. After you have verified this, you may continue. You'll return to the main biennial report screen, and your new GM entry will look like this. You can add as many GM forms as you need, or you can move on to the WR form. Click Add New WR Form to begin. The WR entry form is very similar to the GM form, but this form deals with waste received, not waste generated. You'll enter a waste description and choose Federal Waste Codes. State waste codes come next. Part D is different. You'll enter the hazardous waste ID number of the generator you received the waste from. You can search by site ID, name, or address, and again, you'll be prompted to select a state code before searching. In the search results list, click on the correct site ID. You'll need to select a form code and a management method code, then a quantity and a unit of measurement, just like you did for the GM form. Enter any comments or notes about special circumstances here, and click Save to save the new WR form. The saved WR form looks like this. You can add a new form or edit or delete an existing form. The OI form is next. Pursuant to Title 22, California Code of Regulations, Section 66262.41, B3 and 4, the OI form is required by the state of California. The OI form is much easier to complete because it should automatically add the ID numbers of every generator and treatment facility that you entered on the GM and WR forms. However, you will need to verify that all data populates onto the OI form. If not, please enter the hazardous waste ID number manually and add the ID numbers of any transporters you used. Click Add New OI Form to start this. When you type in the ID number, the address should auto-populate. You will need to select a type of activity in Part C. The drop-down list includes the options: generator, receiving facility, or transporter. Every field with a red star is required. A comment box is provided for any notes you wish to enter about the entity. Click Save once you're done. The Site ID or SI form is last. Click Add Site ID Form to begin. The Site ID form is pre-populated by the information you entered when you applied for the number. What you're allowed to update on the Site ID form differs between the type of ID number you have, state ID number, or federal EPA ID number. Please call the help desk if you have questions regarding your ID number type and what you're allowed to update on the site ID form. Review the information carefully and make any necessary changes before clicking Review. If you would like to continue the form at a later time, you can click Finish Later. Once you have reviewed your information, double-check and then click either Make Changes to make a correction or Save to finish the site ID form. Once you've saved the form, you're nearly done with the biennial report. Before you can submit the report, the data provided must be validated. To validate the data, click the Validate button at the bottom of the page. The validations are categorized as errors or warnings. If the validation triggers an error, you must correct the data before you can proceed with submitting the report. If the validation triggers a warning, you may either correct the data if the data is actually an error so that the warning is no longer triggered, or provide an explanation in the explanation box provided to indicate why the data captured is not an error. Then, click Sign and Submit for our staff to review your explanation. You will be notified whether the explanation was accepted or if you need to go back to make changes. And that's it. Please refer to the links below the video for more information, and don't hesitate to give us a call at 1-800-618-6942 if you need help. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The biennial report helps the federal EPA protect our environment in a lot of different ways. And now you know how to do your part. Thanks for watching.